Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Meena. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you are doing well. Well, today's market is a little bit crazy, especially with the news about Binance and CZ. Stock market is also not doing very well. Today's news and mostly the concerns can be summarized by this Mario's tweet, which reads, the CFTC just filed a lawsuit against Binance and its CEO alleging that the companies conducted illegal futures trading and violated registration requirement. According to the CFTC, Binance allowed US customers to trade on the platform despite not being registered and failed to implement adequate anti-money laundering measures. This follows multiple actions that have ignited concerns of a broad regulatory crackdown on cryptos, such as SEC lawsuit against Pesos re BUSD. SEC targets Kraken. Gary Gensler labels all cryptos a security except BTC. Senate committee holds hearing on BTC environmental impact. Biden's bill targets crypto miners on tax. New York's Attorney General declares Ethereum a security. SEC blocks BTC ETF. Silvergate collapses after SEC investigation. Code blocks Binance from buying Voyager. OCC lets CryptoBank Trust Chapter application expire. Coinbase gets an SEC Wells notice, and SEC targets crypto influencer. While it's looking all dark and gloomy, I want you to take attention to the on-chain data because you might find some relief there. This is a report published earlier last week by Galaxy Research that shows the Bitcoin and how it's performing. The key points or the key takeaways are, on a risk-adjusted basis, Bitcoin is the best performer of the year compared to a range of securities, both equities and fixed income, indexes, and commodities. Bitcoin correlation to the gold is increasing, while its correlation to equities is decreasing to the lowest levels in the year. Future open interest and perpetual swap funding rate has also suggested the rally is spot-based rather than built upon a purely speculative foundation. Bitcoin fourth halving is about 1 year away, which has typically preceded long-term bullish advances. Exchange and miner supplies are down and miner selling appears to have leveled off. Now first let's look into Bitcoin performance. On a risk-adjusted basis, Bitcoin is the best performing asset of 2023 compared to a range of equities, fixed income securities, indexes, and commodities. So if we are looking at this chart where Bitcoin is on the top because it is the best performing asset year through now, and it is followed by Meta and some cryptocurrencies, other tech company stocks like Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Netflix, and some of the banks which are actually showing negative on this chart. This chart again shows that if you're just looking at from year to date, not in 1 year, Bitcoin is on the top. Other technical company stocks and other bank stocks are still very risky. Now let's talk about the correlation. Over the last several months, Bitcoin correlation to equities has finally been moving lower after spending the last 18 months extremely elevated. More recently, since the banking crisis engulfed the market, Bitcoin correlation to equities has declined, while its correlation to gold, the classic safe haven asset, has increased sharply. If you look at this chart, Bitcoin and gold correlation is shown in the yellow line, while Bitcoin relationship is shown in green, and the purple shows Bitcoin and S&P 500 correlation. The correlations go up and down, but if you look more recently, which is shown in this rectangle, there is a declining correlation between equities and Bitcoin, but a very sharp rising correlation between Bitcoin and the gold, which is shown in this yellow line. So what does this mean? These correlation data shows that at least recently, Bitcoin has indeed performed more like a safe haven asset than a risk asset. Given the nature of the current crisis in which the fractional reserve banking system score limitation are tested, Bitcoin's fundamental characteristics generally distinguish it. When custody or self-custody is done correctly, it can offer a safe port in a storm. So it shows that people are relying more and more on Bitcoin. It is no longer that volatile. Now, talking about volatility, yes, Bitcoin remains a volatile asset, but its volatile nature has been slowly declining over time. If you look at this chart that shows the historical realized volatility with the 30 days average, so this starts from 2013 and it goes to 2023. You can see it has been like Bitcoin itself is very volatile in the beginning. The price fluctuated is a lot. But if you look towards the 2023, it is declining steadily. This purple dotted line actually shows the decline in Bitcoin nature. Now let's look at the market dynamics. Several market indicators suggest that Bitcoin really is driven by the spot accumulation rather than just levered speculated by futures, which has been the case in the past. So if we look at the volume and open interest on CME, it remains relatively flat, suggesting that these institutional investors who have been accumulating have mostly done so via spot rather than future. This is a very interesting chart. If you see, it shows CME open interest in the black graph bar and the CME volume, which is shown by this blue line. If you see that in November 2021, where the Bitcoin price was at the peak, you can see CME open interest as well as CME volume was the highest. That was when the speculation stuff was going on. But right now it is very steady. So it means like there's no speculation going on. People who are buying on spot, or maybe they have not bought yet because they believe the Bitcoin will go lower. This one is one of my most favorite chart, Bitcoin supply. Now, thanks to the transparent nature of Bitcoin's blockchain, we can visualize the state of its supply across a range of metrics to derive insights. The percentage of Bitcoin's total supply that is currently held in profit, that is, last move on chain when the BTC USD exchange rate was lower than today, is 75%, highest since April 2022. 75% of the people who are holding Bitcoin right now are in profit, which is great. So the price of Bitcoin right now is fluctuating between $27,000. So 75% of people who have bought Bitcoin before today, they have bought it lower than $27,000. So they are in profit. Yes, 25% of people are not in profit. But I want to tell you, like, over the time when you hold Bitcoin for a long period of time, you start getting into the area where you start making profit. So the reason why I wanted to show you all these graphs and charts and want to talk about Bitcoin is to show you that, yes, there is a lot of noise out there, a lot of things being discussed, a lot of scrutiny over exchanges. But if you look at Bitcoin, the fundamentals and the facts are very strong. Bitcoin is still doing very good. And yes, if you look at on-chain data, which doesn't lie, you will see that the fundamentals are there. People are buying Bitcoins. Bitcoin has been the safest asset. That's where you need to understand and choose or try to ignore the noise, which is not very easy. Keep yourself informed. Look at other stuff which are not usually shown by other people. Anyhow, this is all about this video. If you like it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I will see you soon. Happy investing.